The second message for us is listening to God matters. Listening to God is actually an outgrowth of loving God and following God's commands. God speaks to us through His Word, through Scripture, in prayer, and God also speaks to us through other people. And the passage from Proverbs, one of my favorite passages in all the Bible, I learned it, I must have been 6 or 7 years old whenever I learned Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. It contains timeless wisdom for a successful life. Not a successful life as the world defines it, but a successful life as God defines it. And the author is King Solomon, the wisest man that ever lived. And when asked by God, what did he desire most in the world? I'll give you anything you want. King Solomon asked for wisdom. I want a discerning heart. I want to judge and lead your people fairly and be worthy of the leadership you have entrusted to me. And wisdom only comes from God. And Solomon says it's more precious than silver or gold. It's worth more than monetary wealth. And wisdom begins with keeping the commands of the Lord. Or we say the fear of the Lord begins with wisdom. Solomon writes that this will bring you peace and prosperity. And it's not a coincidence. Then Jesus says, if you love me, what? You'll keep my commands. It's also not a coincidence that Jesus tells his disciples in John chapter 14, we didn't read it, but he goes on to say what? My peace I give to you, not as the world gives. Wisdom begins with keeping the commands of the Lord. Loving God matters. And if you love God, you will keep the Lord's commands. And keeping these commands does what? Brings peace. Listening to God and following God then brings peace.